Hello everybody, thank you for visiting my channel. In today's video, I'm going over the way I organize my classroom, the kind of decorations that I put in my classroom. In one of the videos that I uploaded, I mentioned there, that when I'm choosing decorations for my classroom, there are always kind of like two considerations that I make: aesthetic, purpose, or the function. So as for the aesthetics, that's where color choices would come in, the kind of designs that I'm using. I feel like as a teacher, to give us some source of happiness or joy, we can decorate our classroom in a way that will give us those things, because honestly life can be really stressful in the classroom, so we deserve some source of joy, right? So that's why I love decorating my classroom. But most importantly, besides the aesthetics, my main purpose of decorating is to give order in my classroom and some kind of consistency. So when the students know where to find things, where to put things, what the date is, these are some of the things that they would not have to ask us every day. So you know how it can be annoying when students would ask us each time what the date is, for instance, or how many minutes are left for their activity, or where to turn in their notebook, where to get the pencil, etc. So when we design our classroom intentionally, I feel like, based on my experience, that they make our task easier, and we don't have to deal with trivial matters like that. So we have more time for the more important ones every day. I hope you get some ideas in how I decorate my classroom. I know some of you have better ideas, and I would encourage you to share that also in the comment section. So I hope you enjoy this video. Let's start with this section in my classroom that is called routines. It is really important for the students to be able to see this. These are also kind of like your expectations from the students, what they're supposed to do, what they're supposed to bring every day. And if you have any like routine activities like the bell work, they should also know it. Like in my class, every day there's a bell work at the beginning. It's always 5 minutes. As soon as they get in the classroom, they work on the bell work. But every Friday there's no bell work, because Friday is a quiz or test day. So having that kind of routine helps me lessen my task to remind them, so they know that if it's Friday, there must be a quiz or a test. But if it's a test or chapter test, the students would already know ahead of time. But by default, Friday there's going to be a quiz, so no one will come to the classroom surprised, oh, there's a quiz. So you may want to consider doing something like that also in your classroom. This section has the school calendar that is from the district. So I got this from the website. I did not make this myself. Also, I have the bell schedule here. I also have the school rules and regulations, like procedures, and the top 3 list per quarter, per period, so that the students would know who did great for each quarter in their own periods. Right in front of our classroom, the students are going to see this analog clock. I also have this timer and a place where I write the date every day. So the students don't have to ask me what day it is and also how many minutes are left. This timer is really fun and easy to use. You just have to move it, say, to 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes it's going to sound an alarm, and the sound is not really super loud. It's going to give everybody a heart attack, but I know that's an exaggeration, but it's really nice and very useful in the classroom, especially when you have timed activities like my bell work every day except Friday. I have this section in my classroom where I have the numbers 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There's no 3 because that's my planning period. 1 refers to first period, 2 for second period, and so on. So the students know where to take their notebooks when I'm done grading them. So when they turn in their notebook to me, they actually just put that on my desk, so I can grade it right away. And when I'm done grading them, I would just put them into their respective periods. So the students know where to go. They don't have to ask me where they could take their notebook. This section of my classroom is for my use. I have here my things to do list, some reminders. I would have post it here. Sometimes there's a lot of post-its there for reminders. I have, documents here like syllabus, outlines, things that I need to sign, things that I want to be easily accessible. This section's for my DP students. I have here all the references, the resources that I find, helpful for them. This is also where they put their packets. Each of my DP students has their own packet where they put all their IA materials, what they have gathered so far, the worksheets we have. I also have here some revision materials. So all of these things are for my DP students, Physics 2 students. So they know where to get them, they know where to put back the packets, so things are not scattered in the classroom. Really helpful for them and for me too. This is a little section in my classroom, but very useful. And because I put this in here, the students need not ask me time and time again what I will be looking for the next time I grade their notebook, because I have here the list of things for notebook check and also the list of videos that they're supposed to have completed at Brain Pop, because we do Brain Pop regularly for just a reinforcement review of simple concepts in physics that we take in class. So if you notice so far, all of these things I have in the classroom, they minimize the how often my students would ask me trivial things. Like I said, we can have more time for the more important things in the classroom. I have this supplies corner in my classroom where my kids are comfortable taking materials they need for our activities or just whatever they need, because some of these they need to return, some they can take home with them. I did not spend a single dollar for any of these things because I got this from the teacher store where we can go once a month and shop from a list. So we are lucky that we're able to do that here. If you can't, that is fine. You should not be spending money from your own pocket. But if you do have funds, it is nice. Maybe you can consider doing something like this. But maybe just things that students can borrow, so many students can benefit from that corner in your classroom. I have here some personal hygiene supplies as well that the students could take home with them, like toothpaste, toothbrushes, reusable masks. Again, I did not spend, so it's fine that the students are taking this with them. This is the how-to section. This is where I put my anchor charts. Like, this is our current lesson for my Physics 1 and Physics 2. These are mostly formulas and other important information about the lesson. And when that lesson is done, I would move this to a different section in my classroom. I also have to take this down when there are state exams. So that's why I used post-it papers for this, a big one, so that the students could see the writings here anywhere they're sitting in the classroom. I have this other section again that I made specially for my DP students. There's 8 of them, and this is important because my DP students have lots of due dates, because physics is not their only DP class, so they have due dates in other classes too. So to kind of help my DP students to monitor what they have completed so far, what our revision plan is, what they need to complete for preparation for the external exam, which they will take in April this year. I have this visual tracker so they would know, oh, which part of my IA have I already done. And this is also, helping them to get motivated to complete some tasks. Because, like I have here the checklist, and the next day they would see someone has completed lots of those, and, it gets them motivated. They would say, oh, I need to do this now, because especially if they're the only ones that does not have anything yet. So visual trackers are very useful. You don't have to do it like this big. I'm able to do it this big because my DP students are just, 8 students. If you're doing it for the entire class, like you have 100 plus students, obviously you don't have to do the big ones, but any visual tracker is very useful. When I was a student, I find that useful, so that's why I'm applying this to my students to kind of help them be organized. This bulletin board is like a gallery of activities, so I take photos when we have labs indoors and outdoors, and it's nice to look at them once in a while, so it reminds us, oh, this was a fun day, we went out and do our experiment. So you may also consider doing something like this. I have this shelf in my classroom where I put nonfiction books. So these are not physics books because they have online libraries anyway. So if they want to read something that's, out of our lessons, that's not physics, they could just take from here. And this is also where I have the sanitizing section where they could have, paper towels and hand sanitizer. This bulletin board is where I post the photos of my top 3 students per period, per quarter. I'm currently updating it, so that's why I put down the photos from the previous quarter. And the students love to see this. Like, they're excited to know, oh, who did great this quarter, or the last quarter. And then they kind of are encouraged to do better next quarter because they're telling me, Miss, I'm going to be in that bulletin board next time. So it's a good way to highlight student achievements and accomplishments. It's a good way to encourage them, and we're able to encourage them without, giving them material prize, just photos of them being recognized. This little section is for my homeroom students, my children. So I just take photos of them in their seats and then post them here. I usually update this so that it looks different each quarter, and they just love seeing these photos here. Thank you very much for watching the video today. I hope you got some ideas for when you are decorating your classroom next time. So in the comment section, I want to know which of these things you are already implementing in your classroom and which ones you are planning to implement as well. A supplies corner. How about a visual tracker? Maybe a how-to section, a routine section, a section where you have the date, timer, and wall clock. A mini library perhaps, a mini teacher section, a section for your homeroom, a section where students would know what you will be looking for when you grade their notebook next, or maybe a list of the tasks they needed to have done. How about this board where you highlight accomplishments? Do you want to have a section where students can turn in their work or retrieve their graded outputs? How about a storage for charts and formula sheets? How about an area to organize students' packets?